folks, welcome back to the channel. So we've got an order for a pretty big cake for tonight, so let's get right to it. I've got some yellow cake mix, got some, it's already sifted. I've got, well, a bunch of it's already sifted. This is a 3-box mix. We need 6 pounds of batter, and I've got a little bit of extra batter from a cake that I did yesterday. So I'm going to add this to that, and we're going to end up getting some extra so that we can make some cupcakes. Alrighty, so that's what we got going on. Okay. Alright, so I already have the oil and the eggs in the bottom, plus the extra batter. And we're just going to add the water here. This is just a regular straight up cake, box cake batter. I did add a little extra oil to it. And we're adding some love because we're doing it by hand. So the reason I sift it is so that we don't really have any lumps. And we want the batter to mix as quickly as possible with just a whisk. So that's why I strain it first and just use a whisk. Okay, look at that. It's a big old bowl of batter. Okay. There we go. Alright, so I've already got my cupcake pan set with my liners, and I'm going to use my yellow scoop here. Okay, it's the same one that you would buy in the grocery store, by the way. Okay, and I'm just going to do a nice level scoop in each one. Nice and level. Okay, last one. I think this one was a little short, so I'll give that a little extra drip. Okay, there's all that. Now, we'll set this off to the side. Okay, it's going to be a 12-inch cake, so we got our 12-inch pans here, and our liners here. I cut these already out of parchment paper sheets. Okay. So I want to make sure that I do the whole side and then 1 inch in, 1 to 2 inches in. There we go. Now we'll pop these in. Okay. So the best way to be precise is to use a scale, obviously. Can't go wrong with that for being even. If you don't have one, then you can use a measuring cup, I suppose. Okay. But keep in mind, if you use 3 boxes of cake mix, then you're probably going to have exactly 6 pounds of batter. Just so you know. Okay, so I've got my scale zeroed out as 0. I've got the needle as 0. So whatever I add to the weight of the pan can be weighed. All right. So I want to pour just a little bit off, and then I want to pour this one pretty precise. Okay, we'll go just a little bit before, just to make sure that we have enough. Okay. So this is weighted almost 3 pounds right now. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so now we have exactly 3 pounds on this one. Now we'll come back and put the remainder into here. Oh, look at that. Pretty much right on the money. This is my extra batter, so might as well just put a little extra in. Now, you don't want to put too much extra in, otherwise you throw everything off. And then you have cakes that don't ever bake. They don't bake fast enough. Okay. So these are ready for the oven. I'm going to put them in at the regular 350 degrees. Well, 340 for you folks. 290 for me. And the cupcakes will probably take about 12 to 15 minutes. And these guys are going to take about 25 to 30 minutes. So sit tight. We'll see you in a minute. All right. So cake is out of the oven. Cupcakes are out of the oven. Next step is to make our custard. Okay. Basically, what I like to do is take the vanilla instant pudding and pie filling. Okay. I like to use the instant, and I like to use the full flavor, not the diet stuff. Okay. Diet stuff doesn't work as well. Anyway, instead of 2 cups of milk, like you would normally use on the directions, I like to use 1.5. That's going to give you a stiffer consistency. It's going to hold up better, especially at room temperature. Okay. Now you always want to start with your powder in the bowl first. You don't want to have your liquid in the bowl and then try to add the powder. When that happens, you always end up with lumps. Don't know why, just the way it is, in my experience anyway. So what I like to do is have the powder on the bottom. Now I'm using 2 boxes here. I had one already in there. So here's my first cup, and I'm using whole milk. Okay, not skim milk, not 2%. Okay, and I'm certainly not using heavy cream or coffee mix, coffee cream, or any type of anything like that. Whole milk, vitamin D. That's what you want. All right, so here's our first one. And 2. And just a smidge less than 3 because I like to be a little extra stiff. All right. So now we want to use our whisk right away. And just stir that guy around. And what I'm looking for is for all of the powder to be dissolved into the liquid and everything to be consistent. Okay? Should happen really fast. Shouldn't take long. Okay? If you start over mixing, then you're going to start breaking down your custard, your pudding, whatever. Okay? So that should be about it. Now I'm going to give it a whisk at the bottom, or I'm going to use my spatula just to give it a scrape on the bottom, just to make sure that there's no chunks of mix adhering to the bowl. And really there isn't any, a couple little specks. That's good. Okay, so now this basically just goes in the fridge. It's gonna firm up in no time. And that should give our cupcakes and our cake time to cool down. So, be right back. All right, folks, welcome back. Got my buttercream all fluffed. And I'm just gonna pull my paper off here. Cake is nice and chilled. Firm, not going anywhere. Okay. So, this is where I like to use my long spatula and my slicker. Notice how smooth and fluffed my buttercream is. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Compared to this, which is raw out of the mixer. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. I can spread that very, very easily. And it's nice and light. A lot of folks almost mistake it for whipped cream icing. It's not exactly like whipped cream, but it's awfully light and fluffy, just the same. All right. I think that's a little more than I need, which is what I want. I always want to pull the end of it off with the last stroke. Okay, notice I'm bringing it down evenly. Okay. Going across the whole top first. And now I'm going to bring it down over the side. Using the tip of my spatula mostly. As I bring it down. No need to do it all at once. You want to go nice and slow so that you can keep it even. Okay. Now I'm going to just bring it down a little bit more, keep it nice and even. There we go. And notice this little ridge here. Okay, see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
How it goes in. I'm going to want to bring that down. Okay. And as I bring that down, it pushes more toward the bottom edge, which is where I need it. Okay. See what I'm saying? See right here?
Yeah.
I should be going from this way. And I just want to keep going back and forth. Keep working it, keeping the spatula nice and even. And there we go. Okay. So now I'm going to use my slicker here to smooth out the side. And what I'm looking for, like I said, is a nice straight edge on the side. And then we'll come back and just cut off the top corner there. Make it nice and even. There we go. Now this takes a lot of practice and a nice gentle touch. Don't expect yourself to be like, this even the first or second time around. I've literally iced millions of cakes. Well, not millions, but certainly thousands. That's for sure. Many thousands. Many thousands. Alright, so now I'm going to use my slicker to just clean up the bottom board here. Okay. Now's the time to do it. All the icing is nice and pliable and soft and easy to work with. And use my rag here to really clean it up. Okay. There we go. So now my buttercream, okay, now I need to put this back in the fridge. Let it set. All that white chocolate that's in there and the butter, it's going to get nice and firm, nice and solid. So when I come back to this in an hour or so, that icing is going to be nice and firm. I'll have a wonderful canvas to paint my picture on.